Hello everybody and welcome back to Red Eagle Politics. Make sure you guys like this video down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new. So a lot's going on right now. You got this whole Bindergate thing going on with these files, and we'll probably talk about that on stream tonight and or in a video tomorrow if people are still talking about it. But there was a development earlier this week that we haven't yet talked about in the electoral politics world for 2026, and it's important that we touch base on it. And that is Vivek Ramaswamy is running for governor of Ohio. A lot of people don't know he's from Ohio. That's where he lives. And Ohio, you have Mike DeWine in there as a governor, relatively weak, but his term is up. And there's a chance for an upgrade, and Vivek Ramaswamy is going for it. And a lot of people actually have had these mixed feelings about Vivek Ramaswamy. You have a lot of people that are like, yeah, they really like the guy, they really want him to be governor of Ohio, and then you also have a noticeable amount of people, even in these circles, in the MAGA sphere, that are not exactly the biggest fans of Vivek Ramaswamy because of some of the comments he's made on immigration and many other things. And I actually put a poll out on my community tab, and it kind of shows that you have this divide. Now, I'm going to talk about the pros and cons of Vivek. Nobody's perfect. We understand that. Definitely 64% of people say they like Vivek. They want him to win the primary. Another 24% say they're open to backing him. Not sure if they fully trust him yet. I'm probably somewhere in between 1 and 2. It does seem as if right now he's the overwhelming favorite from the primary. There's very little polling. And at that point, I'm not going to waste my time and energy if he truly is the runaway favorite, just being a little contrarian about that and saying I'm not going to back him. So I definitely am open to backing him. There are some things he said that I disagree with, and I'll get into some of that. And then you have some people that just downright oppose him. They'll never back him in a primary. They don't like him. And that's the way it is. So Donald Trump did come out and he did say that he is backing Vivek Ramaswamy for governor, saying that he knows him well, he's competed against him, and he's something special, which honestly, in terms of his campaigning ability, he is definitely a workhorse. You saw that in Iowa. He basically had no chance to win. He wasn't even really running against Donald Trump, who was like the main frontrunner, but he still walked away with 7-8% of the Iowa vote, which is still relatively impressive. And among young voters, I think he got in second place, did a little bit better. And he's young, strong, smart. He's a good person who loves our country. He'll be great governor of Ohio. He will never let you down. Has my complete and total endorsement, says Donald Trump. So already Donald Trump, who's in the White House, has a lot of pull in terms of his endorsements when he's in the White House. He's endorsing Vivek. He's giving him a boost out of the gate when he's already polling very high. And this is true. And you could see this here in terms of the candidates that are declared. You have Dave Yost, who is the Attorney General of the state of Ohio. He's in the mix as well, but he was not polling as high. And honestly, at this point, he might consider dropping out for all we know. But then also on the potentials list, you see Jim Tressel, who was appointed lieutenant governor by Mike DeWine. I like Jim Tressel. He is somebody who is a household name in Ohio. Pretty much everybody likes the guy who was the coach of the Ohio State Buckeyes football team for quite some time, and he's in Republican politics and definitely would be a strong candidate if he won the nomination, and probably is the only person that could really take on Vivek in a primary, but we don't even know if he's going to run. Does he really even want to go against like a Trump endorsement? Could he win the primary? It's hypothetically possible. With Trump on the ballot, you saw him win like 80-some% of the primary vote in Ohio. Bernie Moreno only got 48% of the primary vote. In a head-to-head, that wouldn't have technically been enough, but still, it's not like the Trump endorsement's the be-all and end-all, even in a very MAGA state like Ohio, but still it definitely plays a big role for sure, and it's very, very difficult to beat a Trump endorsement. And even though Trump's not on the ballot, he is in the White House, which means he kind of is running the show with the party more so even than he already was back in March of 2024, but already Trump endorsed him, Elon Musk endorsed him, he's got endorsements from senators, endorsements from people like Frank LaRose, Robert Sprague, people that are in the mix, I guess you would say. They're a part of the Ohio political establishment, not like full-on sellouts, not like full-on DeWine, but still people that have a lot of pull in Ohio politics. They have a lot of pull in Columbus. They are endorsing him out of the gate. Dave Yost doesn't have that endorsement that you can see. And in terms of the predictions, because you also have some people that are like, oh, Vivek, he might lose Ohio. You know, some people say that he's like a MAGA candidate and that's like a bad thing in Ohio, which is absolutely ridiculous because Ohio is a very MAGA state. You know, it's true the midterm electorates usually are not as like Trump friendly, but still it's just too far gone as things stand. And Vivek would do a good job turning out like a lot of young voters, which are a little bit disaffected because he does have a lot of pull there. There's a poll that has him losing to Amy Acton, but it's like an internal. She's only at 45, he's at 44. And if you look at the same poll that polled Tim Ryan, who would be much stronger, in my opinion, than Amy Acton, they have Vivek winning by 6. So I do think that Vivek's not going to win by like Trump's margin if he's the nominee, but do I think that he's probably going to win? Yeah, I really don't have any doubts that he's going to win, but there still are some question marks that people are raising. And honestly, I'm not saying that they shouldn't be raising them. And Vivek does have a lot to answer to, and that's true. And we're kind of going to see how this plays out in the primary. If he remains a strong candidate, he's going to be, winning the primary, winning the general. If there's kind of spots on his record and people kind of see that, and maybe Jim Tressel runs, then maybe Donald Trump will give Tressel like a co-endorsement or something at that point. So we'll cross that bridge when we get there, but there's pros and cons, and I've talked about the pros. He's very smart. He's very articulate. He is somebody that helped Donald Trump get elected in terms of, his speeches, his rallies. I'm not saying he was like the reason, but he definitely helped. He was a supporter of Trump the second he dropped out of the presidential race. He campaigned for him in New Hampshire, helped him win there in that primary, and helped defeat Nikki Haley. He was awesome in these GOP debates as like the Trump stand-in, and all of that is true. People like him. He is a star in the party, but at the same time, he has a lot of statements that are a little bit iffy, mainly on like immigration. He's talked extensively about how, he views America to be like an idea, basically saying that like we're defined by like our Constitution and our like our civics or whatever. And I'm not saying that we're not defined by them, but like he's just rejected the notion time and time again that we're a people, America's a home, we're not an economic zone. And that's kind of out of step with like the Trump MAGA Vance style of vision that plays well in a place like Ohio. He's been very, very pro increasing the amount of H-1Bs, mass immigration. And as governor, he's not really able to do much about that. And that's true, which is why I'm open to supporting him for that more so than like supporting him to be like a senator. But still, it's not really the best look. The guy's basically gone out there and said, we're going to make Ohio the new Silicon Valley. A lot of like white working class voters in Ohio might not exactly resonate with that worldview. So he's probably got to message his position a lot better if he wants to go out there and really have this slam dunk in the primary. Because it is true, if you look at the polling in the primary, he is winning the polls by quite a bit. And you can see that he's at 52, 57, 46. But there's a shot that if he kind of drops the ball with messaging, and somebody like Jim Tressel, who's a football guy, who could really wedge like the whole like, these white people, they look up to like jocks, and that's why we have to import H-1B workers type of comment that he made, may not resonate well. And if Tressel actually like ran with that just because like he is a football guy himself, he could probably wedge that comment well and mount a strong campaign if he chooses to do so. I'm not entirely sure if he is, or maybe he'll stay as lieutenant governor and he'll run as Ramaswamy's lieutenant governor if Vivek ends up winning the nomination. But I did highlight these things because there are a lot of people that don't trust him, and that's perfectly fine because he has mentioned that he wants mass immigration, which again As governor, there's not much you can do with the legal immigration system overall. He's been good on illegal immigration, so he's not like going to make Ohio a sanctuary state, which is fine. He had that comment where he was like, white Americans are just stupid and they don't look up to like nerds, they look up to sports people. It's like that was just tone deaf and dumb. And thankfully somebody took away his phone, because after he made that tweet over Christmas, he like didn't send a tweet for like 3 weeks. And again, he's somebody that on trade ran on putting the U.S. back into Obama's failed TPP globalist trade deal. That's not a good thing. That's against what Trump has stood for from day one, and that's true. But again, those are national issues. As a governor, will he be fine? Probably. I don't really have an issue with that. But still, he's going to have to answer a lot of questions. There's all these attacks on his record. They talk about him creating like a pharmaceutical drug that didn't really work as well as advertised. But there were similar things in like Vance's past that didn't really hurt him in the Ohio Senate race there in Ohio. He explained it away well. Vivek is a very smart guy, hell of a campaigner, can explain it away well. And Ohio is just beat red at this point. Like, is it possible that it could be in a general, like within 5? Yeah, it's possible, especially because we don't know how the midterm dynamic's going to really play out in state elections and midterm years like governor's races. They're a little bit more malleable, a little bit more swingy, a little bit less nationalized, but still, Democrats in Ohio really don't have a strong candidate. Even if they run Tim Ryan again, he'd probably lose by 5 points or more. Same thing with Amy Acton or whoever they want to put up. So definitely, I've had mixed feelings on Vivek for a while. I want to like the guy. I am open to supporting him. And if he wins, I think there's a very good chance he could be a very, very good governor. We just have a lot we don't know. We don't really know the guy all that well yet. Nobody really attacked him much on his record in the primary when he ran for president, and now that he's kind of running for governor of Ohio, if he's going to be facing somebody like a Jim Tressel, could be kind of a contested primary, but Ohio's Ohio. I'm not worried about the general election, and we'll see how it plays out. But either way, there's pros and cons. A lot of people kind of can acknowledge that. But regardless, Vivek has a really clear shot here to become governor of Ohio come 2026. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. Like this video down below, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications so you never miss another video. Follow me on social media. The links are all in the description down below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Red Eagle, out.